control and no concept of ambition to see you through.
I came to this pond today to show you guys how to sight fish for some bedding bass. And I got to the lake and I realized that that's gonna be really hard because it's hard to sight fish with all of this glare on the water. Optimal conditions for sight fishing would be sunshine, obviously, because it penetrates the water and you're able to see more clearly. And this glare on the water that's created by the cloud cover is making it really hard to see these fish. So either way, the goal today is to teach you guys how to fish for bedding bass, even if we can't see them, with two deadly techniques, in my opinion. These have worked for me for many years during this time of year when the fish are doing what they're doing now. They're guarding eggs and fry, and they're not particularly aggressive, but they're protective. So we're gonna have to trigger a reaction strike out of most of these fish. The best way I know how to do that is the Fluke and the weightless sinko. I'll run you through it all, but right now let's get to catching some bedding fish. So here is the soft plastic arsenal for today. You can see we've got a mix of different companies here, but if I had to make two decisions on a Senko and a Fluke to use, I would pick for the Fluke the Keitech Live Impact 5-inch. Really good lifelike action on this bait, and the 5-inch Yum Dinger. It's just a duplication of the original Gary Yamamoto Sinko. They're a lot cheaper, they come more in a pack, and they do the job. So those are my two weapons today. So let's start out with the Fluke today, the Live Impact by Keitech. Not sure what color this is, but it's just a natural purple shad type color. Okay, so I'm using this 2/0 Gamakatsu Wide Gap hook. And if you guys want to know how to hook these on, pay attention here. You're going to face the underbelly towards the nose of the hook. You're going to put the tip of the hook in through the nose, down to the bend of the hook. Then you're going to come out the bottom, and you're going to run that bait all the way up to the eye of the hook and over the knot, so you're not hitting any grass with the knot. So it's going to be just like that. Then you're going to take where the bend of the bottom of the hook is, you're going to measure with your thumb, and then you're going to put the hook back in where you measure and come out through the back. And that's that. So now your Fluke should be hanging straight and weedless. Today I am using a light spinning reel and a medium power fast action spinning rod, and I'm using Piscifun Braid. Shout out to Piscifun. I am now a pro staff member, just a side note, but I would highly recommend their braided line. I'm using 15-pound braided Piscifun line today to a 15-pound P-line C21 leader, and that's just for some stealth. And I'm positioning myself parallel with the shoreline because these fish are positioned so shallow you don't need to be casting out deep, at least not yet. We'll find out. And I cast down as far as I can. So I'm just going to twitch that Fluke. I'm going to let it sink. I'm going to watch my line. If I see my line twitch, that's a bite. And if your line runs, that's a bite. But I'm just going to let it sit, and then I'm going to twitch. And that Fluke is doing all kinds of action down there. These are very fragile baits, but they do the job. So we're going to have to bring quite a few if you plan on catching fish with the Keitech Live Impact. So I just cast it out a little bit deeper. There we go. There we go. There we go. And it's that simple, guys. Not a bad fish. And that's how you do it with the Fluke. And they choke it. They really want that bait. You can see it's a very natural presentation. I mean, that looks very realistic, and this guy was more than willing to eat. So I think we'll get a few more like that as well. Glad that came together. Now we're going to try and catch a fish on the Yum Dinger 5-inch watermelon red. So we're going to give it another cast, let's say out deeper. And you just want to let that thing sit. The Senko does all the work for you. It kind of shimmies down in the water column and then it sinks and it just sits there. Sometimes you can dead stick it for a bite. There's all kinds of ways to work the Senko. You got to let the fish tell you what they want. So I'm just letting it sit, and then I'm slowly dragging it. I'm letting it go through those grass clumps. A lot of times they hit it as it exits the grass. Nice and slow. You've got to be very patient with this method. The Senko is not fast action, depending, but most of the time you're going to be waiting a little while. But I'm going for reaction strikes. I want fish that are protective and trying to guard their eggs. So we're going to keep making different casts until we find out what they're doing. Whenever you're shore fishing, it's very important to be moving. If you're not getting bit in one spot, you know, the likelihood is that there are fish down the shoreline. Just move around. Long casts, always long casts. That way you're covering more of an area. You're also putting yourself in a position where the fish can't see you. There we go. Ah, that fish swallowed it. So there you go, guys. I made a long cast with the Yum Dinger, and this guy was waiting for it out there a little bit deeper. I'm not sure if they've positioned themselves out a few yards deeper, but it looks like that's the pattern right now. They're not up close as they were the other day. We've got one on the Fluke, one on the Senko. So I have shown you that they work. New spot, same bait, see where they're at. This part of the lake has a little bit heavier grass. What do you know? Make a little move, change the game. Here we go, on the Fluke. Not a big fish at all, but a fish nonetheless. And on that one, I was pretty much moving it from its spot. I had let it sit, and I was just moving it, and I felt a little tension, and he was there. Oh, he's stuck. Oh, he's stuck. Now he's not stuck. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I'm giving you a good idea of how to catch fish on a weightless Fluke. And if I was throwing a sinko, it would be the same exact deal, just with a different soft plastic. That's it.